Hey there, Guildies. I'm Steve,
Still Jesse.
and we are back with another claw machine video.
Another one.
If you watched our last video, which you should have, you know that I promised that we would show how claw machines are rigged by operators so you do not win prizes.
So this is an actual size claw machine.
Well, this is a mini claw, but this is a commercial claw.
It looks so big to me.
This is a commercial claw with a commercial coin acceptor. It's got commercial parts, so I mean, you legitimately could store this anywhere. It accepts regular quarters or tokens or whatever you want. So, but let's dig down into the meat and potatoes. And if you haven't watched the previous video, you should do that now. iCard up above.
Oh, there it is again.
So let's get to it.
Adventurers Guild Arcade.
Okay, so as I've said quite a few times at this point, this is a commercial machine, which means you have commercial settings, which means you can rig this machine to essentially screw people over who play it. Now, I don't want to make it sound worse than it is because literally every claw operator will do that to some extent because that's the way they're designed to make money. Obviously, if you have a claw machine, you're going to want to make money off of it. Whether it's for every $50 you spend, you give away $20 in plushies, or for every $50 you spend, you give away $1 in plushies. One way or another, the house always wins. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up the coin door, and inside you will see a power switch, a play counter. Holy moly, my kids play this a lot. I just got this, and it's got 465 plays on it. And there's a green button that enters operator mode. So Jesse, go ahead and hit that green button for me. I would do it myself, but I'm holding a camera and a coin door.
No problem. Let's see if I can hit that button, and there it goes.
Okay, so when you push that, it brings up the operator settings.
My finger hurts.
So
Now, I will say, in defense of your children, I got here today to record, and I've literally played this thing probably about 40 times already. It's super addictive. And mind you, you're my best friend. I'm not taking the plushies with me. I'm literally winning and throwing them right back in.
True.
So it's just something about the claw
True.
and dropping that does it for me.
So now, I want to point this out. This is obviously a brand new claw machine. All claw machines that have always existed have been able to have these types of features on them. But the newer ones, like the ones made in, say, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years, maybe longer, most of them will have LCD screens now. So now you use an LCD screen to control the win rates and how strong the claws and things like that.
You probably can see because a lot of the modern claw machines do have these, but
Correct.
they like have advertisements. So probably anyone's with those
Correct.
switched over.
When
to
you
that.
would enter operator mode, it would change that display to this, right?
Word.
But the older machines, they actually have physical turn knobs that you can adjust things like voltages and win rates. They're tactile knobs that you would turn. But so this is how it works on this machine / any new claw machine. So there's all kinds of different operator settings on here. Everything from music to putting it to free play to how many quarters it takes to be able to play the machine. But there's two things that are most important to making money from a claw machine and why claw machines are rigged. So the first thing we're going to look at is...
People putting money inside of it. I did it, right? That was the most important thing.
Sure. So the first thing we're going to look at is claw voltage. So there's two settings that are important to this. There's high voltage and low voltage. And I'm going to show you the way both work, and then I'm going to show you why that's important to claw machines. So high voltage literally tells the claw machine how strong the claw is at its strongest point. So I keep mine set to 12 volts because I have pretty small plushies in there, and it's in my house, so I don't necessarily care if people win a lot and things like that. But you can take this particular claw as high as 24 volts on the high end, or as low as
50.
5 volts
Oh, no, that's
on the
fine.
high end. So I had it
can't
set to
read.
12. And then on the low end, this is how strong the claw is at its weakest point. I have it set to 7, but you can take it as low as 1 volt, which is comically low, to the point where the claw almost can't even shut. Now, the question you might be asking is, why would a claw machine have two different voltages? Isn't
Yes.
a claw, and it always grabs the same strength?
That's what keeps me up at night.
Well, the answer is no, because under prize setup mode, there is something called win rate. And this is extremely important to making money or rigging / screwing people over in a claw machine. Win rate is literally tells the machine, hey, every X amount of games make the claw stronger. So I have it set to 3, which means 2 games, the next 2 games that are played, the claw is going to grab at 7 volts. The third game that's played, the claw is going to grab at 12 volts.
Word.
And then on the fourth play, back to 7, etc., rinse and repeat. 2 games weak, 1 game strong. And you can have this as low as 1, which means every single game the claw is strong. Or as high as 200, which means some kids can walk up to a claw machine in the Atlantic City Boardwalk, play 199 times, and have a weak claw on every grab. And then Johnny will walk up, put 1 quarter in, and have a ripping strong claw and be able to grab whatever he wants on that next play.
Every time, Johnny.
And the funny thing is, you can vary the settings so dramatically. You can have it set so you win a ton or win almost never. So, as you saw in the last video with my kid winning and me playing a little bit, it's a fairly decent win rate. The way I have it set up now with what's in there now, it's roughly a 50% win because of how light it is and the voltage control and things like that. But watch this. If I set the voltage to...
So this takes a lot of chance out of it.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to aim. You can't just put it anywhere willy-nilly and expect to win, even if you're bad or good or whatever. But let's just lower the voltage as low as it gets on both settings. So I have it set to 5 volts on high and 1 volt on low. So this is as unfair as humanly possible. And I have the win rate set to 3. So every third game, the claw is going to operate at 5 volts. And the other 2 games is going to operate at 1 volt. Now watch this. This is at 1 volt. I'm going to try to win this shark. I am directly on top of this shark. There's no way that I should fail this if the claw was even remotely strong.
Oh, you got it.
Perfect grab.
What was that?
1 volt is so weak that the claw can barely even move. Like, it barely even shuts. The amount of resistance is so low. It's like it's borderline comical. Again, this is the second game of 3, so this will also be a super weak claw. Once again, perfect grab, nothing. Now, this is the interesting one because this is now triggered. The third game, which as you just saw in my settings, is the guaranteed win game, right?
Yep.
So, well, not guaranteed win, but the high voltage game. So this is a high voltage round. 5 volts. Perfect shot on the shark. I'm just going to double check to make sure that we're in a good spot. So this should guarantee be a win.
Totally sharky complete.
Grab him. Well, it wasn't the greatest hit, but either way, you saw the claw shut all the way at least before it popped back open. But what do you know? You couldn't grab anything because, again, 5 volts. Now, just to show you how much that can change, just for the heck of it, let's go into the operator menu. I'm going to change the claw voltage on high. I'm going to set it to... I'm going to set the high voltage to, just for that, because these are super light, I'm going to set it to 18. And I'm going to set the low voltage to 13. So this is dramatically higher across the board. Now I'm just resetting the machine, so the next 2 games are going to be weak, and the third game is going to be strong. But even the weak game is 13 volts. And you remember, the claw wouldn't even shut on the first 2 games. So I'm going to aim for this frog on a quote-unquote weak game. 13 volts. Not only did I grab the frog, but I grabbed the guy who was under him.
Nice!
Under him. Again, next game. Again, quote-unquote weak game. Okay? I'm going to go for this lobster, which I can't even go over to the right far enough because I'm at the limit of the claw. But so this isn't even a good target. But I'm going to go for the lobster. I grabbed the lobster and his buddy underneath of him. Now, third game, 18. Now, you saw what happened with 13 volts. This is a guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but this is a strong claw game. Okay, this is game 3.
Can you go for that ram?
Sure. Wait, which ram?
One with the green shirt?
Keep going forward. Oh, this way?
Yep. There he is.
So I'm going to go for the ram. That's actually not even a great angle because he's kind of buried. But this is an 18-volt game, so let's see what happens.
Yay!
Well, I grabbed... So, yeah. So, honestly, though, if I would have probably went in the corner, I might have grabbed 2 or 3 things. But the claw was so strong there, that would have probably pulled up Mjolnir. You know what I mean? Like, that claw was not going to give up at 18 volts. These things weigh like, you know, a quarter of an ounce probably, or half an ounce. Well, that's not true. These probably weigh like an ounce a piece.
Correct.
They're super light. But, I mean, they're not heavy by any means, but they're super light. That's why I keep it at 7 and 12. And this was 13 and, what did I say? 18. Yeah, so that is how a claw machine works, and why you guys get so pissed off when you go to the arcade or the boardwalk or whatever, what have you.
Where we say we should have had that one.
Yeah, that sure was a guaranteed grab.
Yep.
So let's flip it around for some final thoughts, shall we?
You know, Steve, even after you explain claw machines, and it makes sense, because there's been many times I've known I turned to my wife and my kids, and I said, that thing opened after it should have closed way too early or closed way too late. And it makes sense. But even so, and even knowing they're rigged, I love claw machines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to use them still.
I'll tell you what, if you happen to find a machine that you seem to be winning a lot on, it's because it's set decently fairly. You should probably A, remember where that machine is, or B, play it as much as you can, because odds are the next claw machine that you play, it's not going to be that friendly.
Ooh.
I got to turn this thing back
I
down. You
know.
should not be winning 2 things at a time.
I'm just going to empty you out, man. This is fantastic.
So for more arcade machine videos, you know right where to check. Subscribe down below and ring that bell. For the
Where else are you going to find a claw machine?
It's true. For the Adventurers Guild Arcade, I'm Steve,
Still Jesse.
and we will catch you guys in the next one. Watch out!